I never thought a single night could unravel 2 decades of love, trust, and companionship. Yet life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. Emma, my wife, and I had been together since our early 20s. Together, we built a life full of laughter, memories, and shared hopes. From buying our first house to raising our 2 wonderful children, we faced life's challenges shoulder to shoulder. Or so I believed. Emma was always the adventurous spirit between us. She enjoyed exploring new things, meeting new people, and pushing limits. While I favored routine and stability over time, her fiery spark was one of the things I admired most about her. But sometimes, even the brightest sparks can set off fires you never saw coming. Early in our marriage, the idea of a one-night stand as a free pass had been a running joke between us, something couples often joke about during the honeymoon phase, never imagining it would become anything real. "One free pass," she teased with a playful grin, "but only if it's Idris Elba." I laughed it off, thinking it was harmless banter. After all, wasn't our relationship built on love and trust? A few months ago, however, those words came back to haunt me. Emma started acting differently. At first, it was subtle. Longer work hours, more nights out with friends, and a sudden guardedness about her phone. I told myself it was nothing, that we both had busy lives. But the small things began piling up, a newfound dedication to fitness, a fresh wardrobe, and an energy that didn't seem connected to our life together. Something felt off. One evening, while we sat watching TV, she casually mentioned a coworker's birthday party she planned to attend. "It's nothing major," she said, scrolling on her phone. "Just a few drinks with some colleagues. I won't be out late." Her tone was light, but the way she avoided looking at me triggered a quiet alarm in my mind. I forced a smile and nodded, though a knot tightened deep in my stomach. The night of the party, Emma looked breathtaking. She wore a sleek black dress that hugged her perfectly, paired with heels she hadn't worn in years. She resembled the woman I fell in love with, yet there was something distant about her, as if she was dressing for someone else. "You look incredible," I said, trying to hide my unease. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Thanks," she replied, grabbing her purse. "Don't wait up." Hours passed as I sat in the living room, pretending to watch a movie while my thoughts spiraled. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. My phone buzzed, a message from Emma. "Having a great time. Don't worry. Love you." It should have comforted me, but it felt hollow and automatic, as if sent out of obligation rather than genuine affection. By midnight, she still hadn't come home. I called her once, twice, 3 times, each time reaching voicemail. My heart pounded, trying desperately to convince myself there was a reasonable explanation. Maybe she lost track of time. Maybe her phone died. Maybe. I shook my head, unwilling to entertain the darker thoughts creeping in. When Emma finally walked through the door at 1:30 a.m., I was waiting. Her cheeks were flushed, her hair slightly tousled, and her eyes sparkling in a way I hadn't seen for years. "You're still awake?" she asked, surprised. I nodded, trying to steady my voice. "How was the party?" She paused for a moment before answering. "It was fun. Just the usual office gossip and terrible karaoke." She kissed me on the cheek and headed upstairs, leaving me alone with my growing suspicions, like a storm building on the horizon. In the weeks that followed, the gap between us widened. Emma seemed happier, but not with me. She was distracted, constantly checking her phone or finding reasons to stay late at work. One night, while she was in the shower, I found myself staring at her phone on the bedside table. I hated invading her privacy, but the nagging doubts overwhelmed me. With trembling fingers, I entered the passcode I'd known for years. My breath caught as I opened her messages. A conversation with someone named Adam appeared. My stomach churned as I read their exchanges, inside jokes, late-night confessions, and then a text that shattered my world. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." It felt like the ground had vanished beneath me. My mind raced, trying to understand what I was seeing. Was this the one free pass we'd joked about? Had she actually gone through with it? I put the phone down, hands shaking, and sat on the edge of the bed, staring into the darkness. I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. My mind was blank. All I could do was wait for her to come out of the shower so I could confront her with what I had discovered. When Emma finally stepped out, she looked calm, her hair damp, her robe loosely tied around her. I sat there, heart hammering, phone clenched tightly in my hand. She immediately noticed me, her smile faltering. "Is everything all right?" she asked cautiously. Taking a deep breath, my hands shaking, I raised the phone. "Who is Adam?" I asked quietly but firmly. Her face drained of color. For a long moment, she stayed silent. The tension between us stretched on, each second driving the blade of betrayal deeper into me. "It's not what you think, Ben," she whispered at last. I let out a bitter laugh, shaking my head in disbelief. "Not what I think. So last night being amazing means something else? Don't insult me, Emma." She sat down on the edge of the bed, fingers intertwined tightly in her lap. "It was a mistake, a one-time thing. It didn't mean anything." Her words hit me like a freight train. The woman I had loved and trusted for 20 years was confessing to a betrayal I never saw coming. "A mistake," I repeated, my voice rising despite my effort to stay calm. "Emma, we've built a life together. A family. How can you throw all of that away and call it a mistake?" Tears welled in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were tears of regret or self-pity. "We talked about this, remember?" she said, trailing off. "Years ago, we joked about a free pass. I thought, maybe it would be okay, that it wouldn't hurt you." Her words stung deeper than any wound. "You thought it wouldn't hurt me?" I said, voice shaking with rage. "How could you think that? How could you believe I'd be fine with this?" She reached out for my hand, but I pulled away. "I'm sorry, Ben. I really am. I wasn't thinking clearly. I don't know what came over me." I stood up, pacing the room, trying to process everything she was saying. "Who is he?" I asked finally. "Someone from work," she said, eyes fixed on the floor. "It's over now. It didn't mean anything, and it's done. Please, Ben, can we just move past this?" Her voice cracked, and she looked at me with pleading eyes. But I couldn't bring myself to respond. That night, sleep eluded me. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling as my mind replayed every moment of our marriage, the promises, the memories, the future I thought we were building. And then there was Adam, the messages I had read, and the trust that now lay in ruins. The next morning, before Emma woke, I slipped out of the house. I needed space, time to think. I wasn't ready to face her yet. I ended up at my best friend Mark's place, the only person I felt I could turn to. He opened the door, eyes bleary but filled with concern when he saw my expression. "Ben, what's happening?" he asked, stepping aside to let me in. I sat on his couch, hands still trembling, and told him everything. He listened silently, his face shifting from shock to anger, then to sympathy. "Man, I'm so sorry," he said when I finished. "I can't even imagine what you're going through." I nodded, staring at the floor. "I don't know what to do, Mark. I love her, but I don't know if I can ever forgive this. How do you move on from something like this?" He sighed and leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees. "I don't know, Ben. That's a decision only you can make. But whatever happens, you don't have to go through it alone. I'm here for you." In the days that followed, Emma and I barely exchanged words. She tried to reach out, leaving notes, sending texts, but I couldn't bring myself to respond. Every time I looked at her, all I saw was betrayal. After a week of silence, I finally sat her down and told her the truth. "I can't do this, Emma," I said, my voice breaking. I can't look at you without seeing him. I don't trust you anymore. She wept and begged me to reconsider, but my mind was made up. You made your choice, I said. Now I have to make mine. The divorce dragged on, painful and exhausting. Dividing 2 decades of shared life felt like ripping pieces of myself apart. Yet, as hard as it was also freeing. Staying with Emma meant living under the shadow of betrayal, and I wasn't willing to accept that. I deserved better. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding. I leaned on my friends and family, rediscovered forgotten hobbies, and slowly started to heal. The pain didn't vanish overnight, but with time, it became bearable. I learned to release the anger and bitterness, not for her, but for my own peace. And standing on the other side of it all, I realized something important. Sometimes, walking away is the bravest thing you can do.